3 to 15. You live in a small village in Ethiopia, and your parents are poor farmers. You lack basic necessities. One of these necessities is shoes. Blake Mykowski was a young man who saw this need for shoes, and he sought to combat the lack of shoes, and thus he founded Tom's Shoes. Mykowski states in an interview with Tree Hugger Radio that as of this month, Tom's Shoes has given away over more than 1 million shoes to more than 25 different countries. I believe this is relevant to us today because it is our duty as human beings to help our fellow human beings. So, today, I'll be informing you about Tom's Shoes. First, I'll be untying the laces on the problems of not owning shoes. Second, I will be giving you the chance to walk in the shoes of the founder, Blake Mykowski, and look at the founding of Tom's Shoes. And thirdly, I'll be giving you a glance at what Tom's Shoes is doing today to help the world, and thus making it easier to walk on this road of life. First, let's look at the problems that made Mike Mykowski realize the need for Tom's Shoes. One of the first downfalls of not owning shoes is that children are unable to attend school due to dress code. According to UNICEF's regional estimate, 97.7 million children do not attend school. So for the simple fact that a child lacks shoes, that child will also lack an education and never realize his or her full potential. The last and most urgent problem that comes with not owning shoes is podoconiosis. What is podoconiosis? Podoconiosis is a disease that podo meaning feet and conia meaning dusty. So it is a disease that comes from having dirty feet. The definition of podoconiosis, according to Palmer and Reed, is this. It is the blockage of limb lymphatics due to and thus making your limbs swell, or elephantitis. It usually affects your lower legs and or feet. The cause, according to Gail Davey, in her article entitled What is Podoconiosis, is that when the victim is exposed directly to red clay soil derived from alkalic volcanic rock. In another article by Sandy McCollum, she states that 5% of the people in highland tropical areas are affected by podoconiosis. This is to say 11 million people are at risk of podoconiosis. A better look at podoconiosis? Those of you with a weak constitution, turn your eyes.
Aww.
This is the first stage.
Wow.
The second stage is that. But there is hope. Podoconiosis is 100% preventable. How is it preventable? Shoes. So now that I've given you some of the problems that come without owning shoes, I will now give you a glance into the history of Tom's Shoes. Blake Mykowski, being the big entrepreneur and successful business owner of Tom's that he is today, did not always enjoy such success. Fifield states in his article, Not Business as Usual, in the Costco Connection magazine, September 2010, that Blake Mykowski is the son of a doctor, and he grew up in Arlington, Texas. Fifield also states that at the age of 19, Mykowski had already started a couple fairly successful businesses, including a door-to-door laundry service, a TV network, an online driving school, and other such things. Now, Argentina will come into this. And I know some of you are wondering how Argentina does come into this. Argentina holds a special place in Mikowski's heart because that is where he first realized the need for Tom's shoes. Laura Van states in her article that Lake Mikowski, took place in The Amazing Race. Some of you have heard of this. It is a reality TV show, and it is season 7. This was his first trip to Argentina. Later, he went back on vacation, and while he was there, he was shocked to see that so many children were unable to attend school due to the lack of shoes. So, he had this new vision to start giving away shoes to children. Thus, he started Tom's. He founded Tom's in 2006, so it was a fairly young company. He then placed the headquarters of Tom's Shoes in Santa Monica, California. The next thing I want to look at in the history is the next thing I want to look at. Sorry. So what is Tom's doing today? Tom's Shoes is so much more than a regular shoe company. They have a goal and a purpose. One way that Tom's Shoes fulfills this goal is by their one-for-one movement. What is the one-for-one movement? It is, as I've said, a way for them to hand out shoes. Blake Mikowski states in his article on Tom's Shoes, this is what it is. For every pair of shoes that you buy, we will give a pair of shoes to a child in need. Once Mikowski has gotten enough shoes from the purchases that are made, he will then, with some of his friends, do a shoe drop where he drops off shoes to one of the 25 countries that they donate to. Also, another thing that Tom's Shoes is doing for today is they are doing more than just handing out shoes, but they're also trying to help the environment. Fifield also writes in his article that it was an interview, and Mikowski states in that article that he feels a responsibility to make sure that we are being the best stewards of our environment today. Now, how does he do this? How does he help the environment today? Well, in his company, he does a couple of different things. First, he does not print out his emails or all his receipts, and he does not, and he encourages his staff to ride their bikes to school. Now, my conclusion is this. We have viewed the facts, and we have seen that Tom's is not a regular shoe company. They do not base their stuff off of profit and money, but off of life. So today we have trotted through the problems of not owning shoes. Next, we looked at the beginning of Tom's Shoes. And lastly, we looked at what Tom's is doing to put their best foot forward in helping the world today. So, again, I want you to imagine yourselves as those small children in Ethiopia. You hear a rumor that there's a man in your village, and there's rumors that he's passing out shoes. So you run as fast as you can to the village square in your bare feet. You get there and you see a kind young man standing there smiling down at you, holding a big bag of shoes. He looks down at you and says, "Here you go, son, here's your first pair of shoes." You are ecstatic. You then begin to have all these thoughts and feelings and emotions. You will now be able to go to school. You will now be able to get a job when you're older. Who knows, one day you may be able to travel across the seas and go to college in the States. So, now the sky's the limit. Now I want you to think of yourselves today. By purchasing one pair of shoes, who knows, maybe you can give a child the same hope. Thank you.